Morning, morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
A very wet one,
Yeah,
Bella.
it sounds ambiguous, but yes, it is a wet morning.
It's too early. You've encountered a few things on your commute already.
Actually, yes, just right behind the Jubilee House, so the President's office, just about 2 junctions away. And if anybody's watching, I mean the authorities, there are 2 trees that have fallen, one of the very big ones, in fact, 2 of the very big ones on that stretch. One has blocked the junction if you're trying to turn right. If you're coming from the Nima Highway, you turn into the President's Enclave. You know, you have to come all the way. There are 2 trees that have fallen, and so if the authorities can quickly head to that area. It was too late for me to stop and take photos of it.
Okay.
But anybody who uses that stretch would know exactly what I'm talking about. I saw the first one, and I actually thought that probably someone felled the tree intentionally.
Okay.
But I moved forward a few meters, about 50 meters more, and then the junction that's supposed to turn into a right, someone was trying to turn into it, but the tree had fallen and blocked the road.
Completely
So
blocked off
completely,
the
completely.
road.
So you cannot use that stretch. You have to, so if you know where Mango and Wheat is, so the junction before Mango and Wheat, for those of you who use that stretch, that junction has been blocked. So authorities, please go check it. It's right behind the President's office, so it's not too far off.
Obviously, I've already checked out the hashtag. We talked about it yesterday. Accra floods finds its way in the trends, and a few people are sharing videos and pictures of their morning commute. And even before the commute, a few bedrooms flooded, a few houses already flooded. I didn't have too much of a tumultuous journey, but the Liberation Road does get flooded in parts, so I can only imagine that quite possibly at this time there's some interference.
I mean, we heard from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, and they last night indicated that there was an offshore thunderstorm located over the ocean between Nigeria and Benin, and it was expected to affect southern Ghana. We'll get to speak to a rep from the institution to tell us more about what to expect, because it's been raining for hours. I think it started around 2 o'clock.
Actually,
2
before
a.m.
that,
Before
11 p.m. for some people where I live at about
11?
midnight. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, then I missed that because I was long gone. But then I woke up at 2 and I realized it was raining, so I figured that was the time. So I don't know what the situation is at your home. At least Helen did not encounter any troubles when she was
No
getting to work.
trees on my commute, thankfully.
Yeah, but if your road is flooded, if there's any challenge and you want to share with us, please let us know. But shortly, we will be speaking to the a meteorologist, Felicity Ahagianyo, if we're able to raise her on the line. But it always worries me, and yesterday we were talking about this, whenever it rains, as much as you enjoy the cool weather, as much as you enjoy all of that, you're still worried about those who are homeless, those whose homes are probably going to flood. And yesterday we saw that video, the interview with Mr. Mingo.
I was thinking about him this
For
morning.
30 years and over.
There's been a lot
His
of
house
rain.
has
It's been
been
raining
flooding.
for hours and hours on end. We saw the devastation that occurs whenever it rains in that particular side of town. Other residents also chimed in when Johnny went over there, talking about the need for a storm drain to ensure that they don't have these issues. So I can imagine what's going on in Mr. Mingo's home. He had to tie up a piece of bread high up, you know, just so they can have some food to eat. A lot of people also sharing that they are without power. There's no electricity at the moment due to the rain. So as Bella said, do keep the hashtag going. It is TV3Newday. Let us know what the situation looks like where you are. Also on your commute, are there any trees blocking the way? Let us know, and let's see what we can also do in our small corner.
Anyway, let's talk about Achimota Forest and the EI 144 and 154 that was passed by the President. Of course, per his command, the Lands Ministry put that information out. And a number of CSOs are speaking, and they're saying that, first of all, the President did not have the constitutional power to even, you know, assent to an EI that leads to the cessation of some forest reserves at the moment. And so I'm just going to read a bit of what CLOSAC, which is the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, has said. It says that it's only Parliament that has the power per the laws to declassify or rezone any part of the country, not an EI by the President. And so it says that the District Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority with jurisdiction over the land specified in the schedule, and this was the EI that was put out, shall within 3 months after the coming into force of this instrument prepare for the approval for a master plan for the development of the land specified in the schedule. Remember that there were some 361.50 acres that were declassified by government. CLOSAC says that that is not the right way to go. In fact, yesterday they spoke to us on TV3 and I mean the news, and I wish we could play that video. The Executive Secretary, Closak, Isaac Bampo, says, you know, per this act, the body that can approve the declassification of the Achimota forest is Parliament, not an EI. And I'm talking about the LUPSA Act 2016 Act 925. It makes it very clear that the procedure to be adopted when you declassify the forest reserve is in the hands of Parliament. And so they are asking the President, yes, to rescind that, you know, EI that they've made. And they're not the only ones who are asking. Occupy Ghana is asking for it as well. I know that the Citizens Movement Against Corruption is also asking for the President to rescind. So clearly, a lot of people are not happy with this EI, especially on the back of the many issues that have come up as a result of this announcement. The minister saying the forests are not for sale, they have not been sold. Then there are allegations of lands being given to people. And you're wondering, how did they even get access to it? I know it's being investigated. That's why I said allegations. Until it's proven that it actually is what it is, and that's the situation. I don't know what you make of this.
Well, it's a very hot topic at the moment. Social media is rife with a lot of opinion. For a lot of us, for myself included, this is news to me that this type of law you know, has to be passed by Parliament. We know how this 8th Parliament is constituted. It's interesting. A lot of it is unfolding as we speak.
Let's take a look at what the Executive Secretary of CLOSAC had to say on this particular issue, asking the President to rescind the EI 144 that declassifies 361.50 acres of forest lands in Achimota Forest. Take a look.
And Spatial Planning Act 2016, Act 925, makes it very clear the procedures to be adopted when you are declassifying a forest reserve. Without limiting subsection 3, the change or use or rezoning of a public space shall be subjected to the approval by Parliament. When you go to the interpretation, a public space means a generally open area accessible to and used by the public, including resource lands, urban utility space, riparian buffer zones, natural park areas, forests. The body that can approve the declassification of the Achimota forest is Parliament, not an EI. I think there should be a commission of inquiry to determine who actually owns even the forest.
And that is Isaac Bampo Ado reading to us that act, LUPSA Act 2016 Act 925, that clearly states that it's only Parliament that can make decisions on the use of certain lands and whether to declassify or further use it for something else. It's Parliament that has to make that decision, not an EI by the President.
We wait and see. Well, this isn't the first time that we've encountered decisions having been made contrary to what the rules say. I mean, we were here sometime November last year when the Minister for Roads declared that road tolls will no longer be collected. And that, we're told, isn't the way in which you stop collecting tolls. It had to go through the appropriate channels. The rules and regulations were not followed. How many months on and nothing has been done about it? I'm not too confident that this revelation will change much. I don't know if you have that same opinion.
I really don't know, but let's listen to a government spokesperson on governance and security, Paul Wachidankwa. He says that the portion of the Achimota forest in the purported will of Sir John could be a portion of the forest peripherals belonging to the Owu family. Could be. Listen.
I believe very well that everything that is in his will is through us as a result of his own hard work. The Achimota Reserve Forest, as is rightly known, also has some properties on it. The matter of contention really is that the name is still called the Achimota Forest Reserve. The part of the Achimota Forest that has been given to the Owu family is still considered the Achimota Forest. But where the Achimota Forest is, as it is now, is not going to be tampered with.
Are you saying that the portion of the Achimota forest land as captured in the purported will of Sir John, who died years ago, is a portion of the Owu family land that was declassified this year?
Clearly, I mean, if it's a private will, I mean, that's what you would expect that it is, until it is otherwise proven otherwise. There are some peripheral parts of the Achimota Forest Reserve that has been given to the Owu family, which is supposed to be sold to private entities and private persons and private individuals. Sir John is a private individual; he's a citizen of the Republic of Ghana, and so he's acquired properties that he so desires to have, and we need to be able to situate it very well, unless you have a contrary evidence to that. Clearly to be able to state very upfrontly that it's not the Achimota forest so-called.
I don't know what you make of this as well, but Manasseh Azuriawuni, who is, the one in charge of this expose as well, put out all the documents. Even though that documents had leaked online, the Fourth Estate was able to gather all the documents, put it out there, and honestly, there's a very popular person in this will. If this is real, that person must be the richest at the moment. But he also had something to say about the issue concerning the Achimota forest, and he said that it looks as if there are a lot more government officials that may have access and ownership of lands that are supposed to be government lands. There could be a lot more government officials.
Yes, I mean, again, social media was awash with a lot of commentary. A lot of people trying to locate their uncles yesterday. Some of their uncles were not picking up. They want to know if they can stake some claim in their current belongings. But, away from that, this purported will also had a number of different entities, land sites that are supposed to be protected, if you will, what they call Ramsar sites, which have different species of animals or something along those lines. And if we have government officials who are purported to own some of these, lands which are supposed to be protected, that is something that you and I should be concerned about.
Of course, definitely. And we're going to keep asking the questions, by the way, and ensure that we get answers to them. Later on the big issue, I'm sure that Johnny and his guests will discuss it even further. But later, we're having a conversation with NAPCO personnel. They still have not received their 7-month salary. I remember that there was a letter that was put out that indicated that they were going to pay, to a certain month, just so that they can also try and figure out how to pay their arrears. Well, NAPCO says that they may not live to see, and I'm going to read the statement quickly, we may not live to see the economy bounce back. So NAPCO trainees are, through this release, signaling to the President of the Republic of Ghana that they are dying of hunger and may not live to see the economy bounce back due to non-payment of 7 months arrears. Following numerous calls on the government to attend to NAPCO trainees, which have not been given the much attention, spanning about 7 months since the expiration of the 3-year agreement on the scheme, NAPCO Trainees Association of Ghana is registering its dissatisfaction with how things have been held in hiatus. Trainees have been plunged into a point of no hope as the government has given deaf ears to the pressing issues. Deaf ears, you mean? So the NAPCO initiative by design has helped beneficiaries acquire employable skills and experience for the past 3 years, and we applaud the government for that. The ultimate goal of reducing graduate unemployment cannot be materialized if these beneficiaries who were directed to remain at post pending permanency arrangements are not absorbed into the mainstream work as once promised by the President of the Republic, Nana Addo. There have been a series of calls on the government in lieu of the permanent employment arrangements, but to no avail. The current situation is disturbing beyond measure, coupled with almost 7 months of arrears. The situation on the ground is not reflective of the promise made to invest in the youth through job creation. We're asking the government this simple question. Although we have been told the soon-to-come arrears permanent arrangement will happen, when is that going to happen? This is signed by Dennis Katiche. He's the national president for NAPTAG. And they have also threatened another demonstration if government does not heed to their calls. They're not the only ones. The NSS personnel are also, complaining of hardship. And they're saying, you haven't paid us. So what's going to happen to us? I mean, at the rate at which things are going, we will not be able to survive. You need to pay us.
Now, yesterday when we read that press release, you recall, I said, well, what a dramatic heading. But actually, it's a reflection of the state of affairs. It is dire. Even those of us who, month to month, know where our money is coming from, we're having to budget and manage so tightly. So I do hope that there is some reprieve for the NAPCO personnel.
I hope so, but later on they'll be on the show, and so please look forward to that conversation. We'll have both personnel from NAPCO and also National Service sharing with us what the challenges are and, of course, decisions that they have made as a group moving forward. But let's go back to Felicity Anyanyo. She is a meteorologist. She's going to update us on the weather situation. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister. The name is Ahafianyo.
Ahafianyo? All
Yes.
right. Thank you so much for that correction. Thank you for joining us on TV3Newday.
Thank you.
It's been raining for a number of hours now. Yesterday, there was a communique that was received that indicated that there was a storm, between Nigeria and Benin that was expected to affect southern Ghana. Is that what we're experiencing at the moment, and how dire will the situation be later in the day?
Yes, that is what we are experiencing. The pressures were quite high. That has retarded its movement. If not, it would have gotten to us since yesterday. But then the pressures has retarded it, so it's just moving slowly, and then now has covered almost the coastal belt, and a chunk of it is over the sea. I don't know if you have the satellite picture. You could see the color portions. Yes, you could see where it has been. So it's moving it westward and then spreading over the eastern Ashanti and later into Bono and then Bono Ahafo regions. So over the sea, you could say that it's not going to be pretty good for the fisher folks to go out for fishing today. They should just call it off. But that's at my personal discretion too. If they wish, they can go, but then it's not advisable because it's quite intense. The sea is also a bit warm, so it's fueling it more for more thunder and lightning over those areas. For the northern half of the country, as we can see, we are having just patches of low clouds that are there. The sun will break through over Tamale, over Yendi, Boku, and all those areas. Then later, it will develop into thunder clouds and then give isolated cases over those areas. Then for the whole week, for this week, yesterday, we saw that tomorrow and Thursday is going to be a break in the rains for the country. Then it will prepare itself for another rainstorm, just what we are seeing today. But then the Friday, Sunday one is going to cover almost the entire country. Then the active spot is also likely to shift a little bit inland areas. So for today, we are looking at the rain stopping between mid-morning to midday over most areas. The impact-based forecast, as we can see, midweek is tomorrow, Wednesday through Thursday. Yes, we have that. You should be aware that we have rain that is in the forecast, but then it's not going to be quite severe. But then for the weekend, Friday to Sunday, the active spot is likely to be over the transition into the northern sector, the red portions. The green portions that's over the coast. So cloudy weather with light intermittent rain is what we are anticipating. Nothing much to worry our heads about over the coast. But then the area of interest is now over the northern sector.
Felicity, okay. So what we want to understand, in very simple words, how many hours of rain should we expect the rest of the day?
Between now and midday for Greater Accra, is going to be pretty. I can't really give you the figure that much, but between now and mid morning, that's around 10, or then some areas will go into midday. But then our brethren over the central and western region, they're also likely to have about 6 hours of rain all over those areas. Okay,
but it's not likely to go beyond. So probably by the end of the day?
No, for the East Coast, Greater Accra, it's not likely to go beyond the midday. By 10, 11, it should be subsiding, and then it later is to fairly cloudy the day for the rest of the day. Then late afternoon, we'll have the sun penetrating, then we can.
All right. I guess for those of you who are watching as well, you can deduce from, the post that we put up that it's also going to be a bit cloudy with sunny breaks in the northern sector and the other parts of the country, the middle belt as well. And so please, if you have not left home yet, it's important that you also try to get an umbrella, a raincoat, protect yourself, and please avoid going to areas that are flood prone. So that's it. Thank you so much. Felicity Ahafianyo is a meteorologist,
Yes,
and she just
right, yeah.
yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking to us this morning. So that's it. We're going straight into the big issue today, and of course later we'll be speaking to personnel from NAPCO and from National Service. The last time that NAPCO personnel received their salary, that happened for September and October, and since then they have not received their allowances, and so they are protesting and they are threatening another demonstration. We'll get into that conversation later. So do you have any other comments?
I was just saying, a lot of you still sharing your morning experiences. This one here says, the Burma camp flyover, this user says, a tree has fallen in the middle of the road, so be careful and do keep the tweets coming. The hashtag is TV3Newday. Share your experience with us. What is the commute looking like? Is there any flooding where you are?
All right, thank you so much, Helen. And so we'll be back with a conversation on the major issues making headlines. This is TV3 Newday. Keep your messages coming. The hashtag is TV3Newday. We'll be right back.